Good afternoon, and welcome to the Northern Ideas Development Program information session. First of all, I want to thank all of you for joining. It looks like we've got well over 100 people, and it's going to be exciting today. We're going to be going through the Northern Ideas Development Program with you. Also wanted to give a shout out to some of those folks that have already applied into NID program and are currently working with us. It's been fabulous, and the ideas are fantastic. So we're hoping to see more of those come out as a result of today's session. I am talking to you today from the traditional territory of the Algonquin Nation here in Ottawa. And I know that people throughout the country are joining us, and would invite you to find out what traditional territory you're in today. So what we would like to do is, first of all, go through a couple of housekeeping items so that we can give you a good session, and you'll see how you can participate as we get into questions and answers. First of all, we do have interpretation services. And what you do, you go down to the globe button at the bottom, and you can click either English or French, and you can hear the entirety of the program in your language. Participants, you can put questions in the live Q&A in the chat box at any time, all right? And we're looking for those, looking for questions, because we're going to be doing a question and answer at the end. Anyone calling in can email to help@nidp.ca. And what we'll do is we'll follow up with you right after with your questions. Presentation deck link will be shared in the chat. And if you need to contact tech support during you're having a problem with something and you need to contact tech support, you can reach them through Evergreen Tech Support /soutien technique, and they will be happy to assist you. The event is being recorded and will be available on demand for viewing shortly. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to first of all go through a bit of a deck presentation, but I'm joined today with my colleague from CMHC, Bridget Connect, and she's also going to be presenting during the event and also helping me out with different questions and answers during the question and answer phase. So what I would like to do is I would also like to recognize that we do have a number of our NIDP reps. I know some of you have been speaking with them. So we're going to be later in the program be able to show you who they are and introduce you to them. There we go, Bridget. Good to see you. Looking forward to the event today. So I think without further ado, we're going to be getting started, are we not? Any questions? Okay, so I'm going to share screen now, and we're going to begin the program. And like I said, feel free, go onto the chat, add your questions, and looking forward to seeing you on the other side of the presentation. All right. Well, I do want to welcome you, Northern Ideas Development Program. We did kick off a couple of weeks ago with the Northern Access Round and the challenge. So it's been a lot of fun. We've had quite a few people have reached out to us through various means, our 1-800 number, through the website, even calling directly into our website, Innovation 7. So it's been fantastic. And some of you have even reached out to our colleagues at TAG. So it's either way, we're always going to be able to get back to you. So we want to thank you for those that have participated so far. What we're looking for, really, we're looking for ideas that are going to help to meet this supply chain challenge. And it's not the obvious ideas that are always the ones that are going to make a difference. Some of the ones are the ideas that have been birthed right in the community. Those ideas that have been driven by a community need, we want to hear about those. And so we're going to be, as we go through, explaining to you how you can get to us, how you can get back to us, and we can begin to share your ideas and really start to develop a quality, complete proposal so we can get you through to the next stage. So what is the NIDP program? Well, the Northern Ideas Development Program is designed to assist northern and remote communities to apply to CMHC's Housing Supply Challenge, the Northern Access Round. Really what it is. It's an optimization program that's going to allow us to be able to help you through, by people like myself, our NIDP reps and others, be able to help you get to a point where you are comfortable, confident that you've got a great application, quality, and complete. Now, I want to introduce Bridget Connect from CMHC. She's going to go through a couple of slides to tell you a little bit about the nascence of this particular program, about the things that they had heard in the past that really drove them to changing some of the approach for the third round. Bridget, without further ado, it's up to you.
Thanks so much, Dale. Welcome, everyone. I'm thrilled to see such a great turnout here to learn about the Northern Ideas Development Program today. So this is a support program for the broader Housing Supply Challenge and the Northern Access Round of the Challenge, and I hope you attended our launch last week. I want to explain in these couple of slides why we have a Northern Ideas Development Program. We, like with all of the rounds of our challenge, we cross the country. We try to talk to as many people as we can about what it is that we think we're doing, what it is that is actually needed, and how best we can put something together that will be of value to people in terms of trying to remove barriers to housing supply. And so this round for the North, we talked about what can we do, how do we build a round for the North. We heard a lot about different ideas, which is how we came to supply chain as our focus. But what we also heard in those conversations was a lot of the problems with applying to federal programs and applying to CMHC's programs, and particular challenges for the North. And so there you see a few quotes, just some of the many things that we heard from people. Their funding is difficult. No one understands how expensive it is in the North. Writing proposals is so much work. People, the band chiefs and the First Nations they're wearing too many hats. They don't have time to do this. We've heard that CMHC proposals are not enjoyable to write. Well, I've never met a government proposal that was enjoyable to write, but at least we can make it so it's not so onerous. And I know that some of our CMHC proposals are extremely long and very heavy. So we heard about that. We heard the same groups always get the grants because they know how to write the applications. And so they seem to just get right in there. We heard about internet connectivity and how some people have to get up at 3 a.m. in order to submit their grants because no provision was made for the fact that Northern internet access is not as quick or powerful as it is down in the South, et cetera, and so forth. We heard a lot of things. And we wanted to try to address those things. The Housing Supply Challenge is a program that is trying to do things differently. We're trying to not make the same mistakes, and everything that people have told us, we're trying to take that in and see how we can make the program work to the best possible benefit of the people who are applying to it. So this is what we have tried to do. So next slide, please, Dale. So the Housing Supply Challenge team at CMHC put our heads together and we said, what can we do to fix some of the problems that we've heard? And we thought, well, we have a support program run by Evergreen, but that's really about networking and webinars and some of those targeted supports, but we need something specific for Northern applicants to address the things that we heard that are specific to Northern applicants. So we thought of developing this program, which is something that can offer support to develop early stage ideas. Those are ideas that we might not otherwise get into the program because a lot of you have great ideas, but you don't have the time or the wherewithal to fill in the applications because you're wearing too many hats in your communities already. So, okay, what can we do to help with that? We heard that the applications are too complicated and too long and too dense. So how can we make a pathway that removes some of those barriers, but without losing the rigor that we need in order to be able to hand out millions of dollars? So we're trying to figure out how to do that. And then how can we equip rural and remote communities with what is needed to increase the likelihood of success? We also heard that people are spending a lot of money hiring consultants independently. And so we're trying to find a way of offsetting those costs that you're taking on personally. And we're trying to do that through the NIDP so that CMHC bears the cost instead of you individually. And then we're trying to make opportunities that provide that create options, that provide equal opportunity for Northerners to be in control of the solutions that are coming to their communities. So we developed a whole separate support program, and we've got Dale delivering it for us. And the entire intention behind this is to try to respond to those things that we heard when we were talking to different people across the country when we were designing this round. So hopefully this program will be very helpful, and I hope you make the most use of it that you can, because we're really here trying to do something different and trying to make sure that as many of you are successful in the housing supply challenge as we possibly can. So I hope that explains how we got to this moment. And here's a slide that just explains the two support programs. The one at the bottom, if you have the wherewithal to, you have an idea, you know, have the solution, and you have the people necessary to write the application, just go ahead and fill in the application. You can participate in the evergreen events, etc. If you don't have that, if you know what the problem is you're trying to solve, but you're not sure how to solve it, or if you have a solution in search of a problem, or if you have you know, just not enough staff in your organization to manage all of this, then this is what the Northern Ideas Development Program is for. It's to help you develop those ideas, find the right ways of getting them such that they will make a successful application to our Northern Access Housing Supply Challenge round. Okay, I hope that clarifies that little piece of it. I will pass it back to Dale now to go into more detail about the program. Thanks, Dale.
Thank you very much, Bridget. That's fantastic. And if you do have any questions for Bridget, remember we're having a Q&A at the end, and save your questions for that. Excellent. So let's get into what is the NIDP. The NIDP is new. The primary aim of the Northern Ideas Development Program is to help participants and help you get through that application process. We have NIDP representatives that are there to help and support applicants that require that assistance. And we've been working already with a number of applicants, and it's been very, very interesting, the types of supports that they're requiring. You know, we also need to make sure that we adjust support to meet the participants' needs while building capacity during the proposal development stage, so that we can get through to the next stages where you develop your proposal even further into a full-fledged proposal going through the next rounds. Want to make sure that as we go through that the criteria that is laid out in the application, that we are helping you through that so that we can make sure that you get a top quality, good, complete proposal to go into that next round. Now, we don't, as Innovation 7 and NIDP program, have any effect over the next round. We're just helping you get through and get your proposal in the most complete and quality way, so that you stand a really good chance in getting through to that next round. Now, again, the program really is an application optimization process that we want to be able to help you. And you know, there's been a number of questions that we've had along the way so far where we've been able to help people with bringing them together in a Teams meeting where we're discussing the project, looking at it, breaking it down, and helping to really capture what the concept is. Thinking about partnerships, thinking about how is it that this is a Northern program. So really is the way that we're helping. We're really, really hands-on. We're trying to make sure that we get back to people as soon as humanly possible. And so we're making every effort to be able to do that. We have NIDP reps, and those of you that have called in may have met a number of them. But what they do is they're going to be the critical first contact of the applicant when you either send in a text through the 1-800 number, call in through the 1-800, get us through email, or reach out to us through CMHC. We're always going to we stream that file to an NIDP rep. And then what they do is they reach out, and you know, they're going to be your go-to person. They're going to be the person that is really going to be there to help you throughout this process to develop your application. Now, we also look at, there's sometimes, and we've already got a couple of interesting projects coming in where there's a little bit of research that we need to do in the background to be able to assist that applicant. So we're doing some of that type of work too. And they're also, as a group, the NIDP reps are working together jointly, and we meet every morning to be able to discuss the various projects that are going forward. And if there are any really challenging ones, or ones where we're looking for a little bit of groupthink and brainstorming, then we do it then. So really focused on the number one thing is getting a good quality application, complete application through the second round, and making sure that the applicant feels that that they've got somebody in their corner, and if they run into an issue, that they've got someplace to go to help work through that issue, right? The NIDP managers, myself and a gentleman named Justin Smith, we're both the managers, and we actually work every day with our reps, helping them through different items, and also we're on calls meeting with applicants, and we've done a number of them so far, and it's been really, really good actually. The ideas that have come out and the way we're thinking about things, and I know maybe some of you are on the call that are working with us, really excited about what's coming out of this, and I think that we're going to see some incredible ideas that are going to really, affect the future when it comes to housing supply and getting over some of these incredible barriers that exist for northern communities. So we have NIDP manager representatives on the call with us today. 5 of them currently, and we are going to be adding to that list of representatives as we go forward. We have Sagaki from our team. We have Braden from our team. We have Dawson, Cassidy, and Audrey. All 5. If you called in and have asked for some assistance, most likely one of these fine young people has reached out to you and has started your file and is looking to get you through to the next round with a quality and a complete application. So what do we do? Okay, what we're trying to do in terms of our knowledge and what we're putting forward is that we want to make sure, number one, that you're eligible under the NIDP program. So when we're looking at eligibility, we're looking at number one, is it northern? Is it northern? So when we think about that, we look at the southernmost limit of the permafrost, okay, on the NRCan website. Anything above that is considered northern or remote, at least 350 kilometers from a nearest service center, no year-round access to a service center, or can demonstrate considerable challenges associated with housing and economic development. And we've gone through these, and some of them, some people that we may have worked with us were determined not to be southern or not to be northern, and so we don't just throw you out the door. We actually help you and we move you over, and Evergreen then takes your file and moves forward with you. We discuss with them all aspects of your file before we transfer it to them, and so that they're aware of everything that you're looking for. Now, the second part is the most important. Once we've determined your eligibility and you're in the program, then it's really about how do we get that application top-notch, high quality, complete, so that we can go through to the second round. And the NIDP reps understand the application process. And what's going to be interesting too, and I'm going to talk about the end, May 23rd, there's going to be a session talking about the application process. Don't lose sight of that. But we understand that application process too, and we walk you through the application guide, and we set up different opportunities for us to be able to work together. It's been very, very very good so far, and like this week we're loaded up with meetings where we're reaching out to applicants to further develop their application, further develop their concepts. We're also getting people that are, and I want to encourage that. We're also getting people that are emailing in, that are getting to us through the 1-800 number, that aren't necessarily applicants, but they're pointing out ideas or they're pointing out suppliers. We want to know, because we can take that information, we can sift through it, and it allows us to build out that database. Because sometimes the people that are looking that are coming to us, they're looking for partners. We've got a couple already that are looking for partners. And so when we know about partners, when we know about the different suppliers, when we know about this and we have that background, and I really want to thank some of the people that have sent those things in. They really help us in the future, and especially, with some of the applicants that are struggling to find the right partner or the right concept to move forward. This gives us a great leverage, and gives us an ability to really help out the clients. And that's what we look at, the clients. All right. So we are, like I said, providing assistance through the process. I know it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse, but we really want to make sure you understand we provide assistance all through the application process, right? And that application process goes right through to June 23rd. So we're here for you the entire time. We're taking applications all the time through the website, like I said, and we try to react to them as quickly as possible so that we can get back to people and get their file started. You know, like I said earlier too, aligning applicants with partners and collaboration and collaborators really is going to be something that we see as going to be is going to be needed in some cases. We've got some really interesting ideas, but they're just looking for that last piece or that partner that's going to really help them move it forward. You know, we're also going to be assisting you with writing some of the research in terms of capturing the way that you want to articulate your idea, and, you know, doing some of the background research for you in terms of well, we have one client who wants us to look at some transportation issues. And so we do some of that background research specifically for that file. So excited. We also are going to be organizing, you know, webinars and other collaborative means if we need to be able to help you. And, you know, as we see things go forward, I can envision that we're probably going to see webinars as we get, you know, into the month of May and June, even into late April, where we see, you know, a webinar perhaps on transportation or on storage or something, or those types of things. But we are looking at how we can do that. We're really monitoring the performance of the program and ensuring that we log and understand where are the lion's share, where are the clusters of concepts coming from, and how can we help those who are looking at a transportation solution, for example. Perhaps there's a number of people that have a solution and are looking for partners in a way to be able to collaborate. We want to be able to set those things up so that you have that opportunity to maximize your chances for success in the next round. All right, so really, you can get a hold of us through call or text our 1-800 number. We've had an equal amount of people getting a hold of us through the 1-800 number and through our email at help@nidp.ca. You can visit us also on Facebook, and you can see us there. You can also see some of the background videos and things that we put up there to give you a bit of information on the NIDP program and maybe give you a little bit more insight. And again, we try to get back to you within 24 hours of your sending us a message. If you indicate that you're going to be getting a hold of us, we'll wait for that message. But if we don't see that, we're going to reach out to you, okay? And as soon as something comes in, it gets streamed to one of our reps so that they're aware when it comes in that we're raring to go and ready to assist you. All right. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things so far. I'm not going to, of course, give out any great details because I want to protect the applicant's commercial confidentiality. Now, we've had some really interesting uptake so far. A number of the projects are much richer, much more developed and much more, how do you call it, collaborative than we expected. There are some really interesting things coming out of the North that, especially when it comes to the transportation and storage, we're really seeing interesting things happening there. And, you know, currently working with a number of applicants, and it's been a real joy to work with you so far. And I hope you're on the phone because it's really given us a lot of pause and good food for thought. I find the back and forth and the way people are working with us is extremely respectful. And, you know, we're really trying to make sure that we help in the greatest way possible. But like I'm saying so far, and, you know, even when we launched a couple of weeks ago, we had people going in the 1-800 number right away. We had emails coming in and we were able to respond, and we're hoping that that volume of intake doesn't change, and that we you know, we get a lot of new and interesting types of ideas. Some of the ideas that we've seen too have come in that are, you know, a completely different subject matter, but part of it has an aspect to it that really could be eligible under the program. So we take those, we look at a project and we look at the things that we can take out of that project that are really applicable and eligible under the project. Now, I want to turn it over to Bridget a little bit because I know that she's heard a couple of things too, and then we'll carry on to the next parts. Bridget.
Oh gosh, thanks, Dale. I mean, we've just heard a lot of great ideas coming at us from all over the place. We've heard a range of ideas, everything from it would be most beneficial in a community to have a storage facility where you could store materials over the winter. So they come in late on the sea lift. They don't have to sit outside in the elements degrading until spring. We've heard that there maybe should be multiple communities working together to design some sort of a hub for storing materials or things like that. We've heard about ideas that are like really extremely large that we don't even know how we would begin to sort those out, like reinstating the Western sea lift, for example. Like that, you're right, that is a supply chain solution that needs solving. You know, we're happy to put our heads together on it, but I'm not sure how we would do that one. We've heard everything from people need financing for their local sawmills so that they can build their own homes with the materials that they have on their land. That's a great idea. We've heard about people wanting to do factories in order to build modular in the north, as opposed to building it in the south and just shipping it up. So we've heard such a wide range of solutions, and I'm sure those are, you know, that's like a tiny snapshot of 5. I know there are dozens out there, and I know that everyone understands their own communities best, and so the solution that will work in your community is the one that we want to hear. And if you are a supply chain person who's on this call and you are somebody who deals in trucking or deals in shipping or airlines or something like that, just making sure that the solution that you propose, we want to make sure that the benefits do accrue to the community as well. So developing those partnerships is a really critical part of the program. And that's probably enough at the moment. I know people out there have bigger ideas than I do, for sure. Thanks, Dale.
Thank you, Bridget. And yes, you know, even those nascent ideas where you think, okay, I've got a nugget of something, okay? Call us, because what we will do is we'll sit down with you. We can brainstorm your idea. We can think about, you know, you may not have any partners, you might just have an idea, but that's okay. You know, we can think about some of the collaborators, we can think about some of the partners, we can think about your concept and really go through it to see how we can extract the pieces that are eligible and develop those. And I know we have a couple of people that we're talking to this week where we're going to be doing that type of thing, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Bridget. All right, we're a little bit ahead of schedule here. It's 1:30. What we're looking at doing a bit of question and answer. All right, and so some of the housekeeping here for the question and answer. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to request to be unmuted. What we'll need to do is you can raise your hand in the chat, and then what we will do is we can unmute you, or you can send your question to the chat, and we will have a moderator read it, and you can, and one of myself or either myself or Bridget will take that question, or Danielle will take that question, and we will we'll help you the best we can to answer it. So, do we have any initial questions, moderators?
Dale, can I just jump in and make a quick point? I think there are a couple people who are on the phone, so they won't be able to type in the chat. So if you folks have access to your email, can you email your question to us? I think that information was provided to you, and then we will make sure that we read it out on the Q&A here. Okay, thanks.
That's right. Thank you so much. All right.
Okay, we already have a few great questions here.
Awesome.
So the first one is about eligibility, I believe. It says, we are a GTA, so Greater Toronto Area company, but our clients and partners are in the true north. And that's coming from Edwin's. Maybe you can discuss how that will work for the NIDP, the challenge.
That's an excellent question. Okay, so you're looking at working with a northern community where you're going to be delivering that solution. You're working in the GTA and you're looking at how you're going to deliver that solution in the north, and you've got a northern partner. Then you would be eligible, because if you get the northern partner, it's going to be delivered in the north. And but your southern company that's working on it, we have examples like that currently where we're working with people. And so what you're describing as your model is something that would be eligible. What we need to see that it's going to be deployed in the north, and we need to see that you've got a northern collaborator or partner. Bridget, anything to fill in on that?
Oh, on that one, I would just add to ask yourself whether or not you have adequate capacity to complete the application yourself with your northern partners, or if you need Dale's help. Because if you have enough capacity to do it yourself, we do have the Evergreen Support Program, which is a series of sort of networking webinars, application writing assistance, and so forth for those folks who are, like yourself, more southern and not a northern or remote community. So reach out to us, please, and we can get the specifics of it, and then we'll know best where to direct you in terms of the best support program for you.
Thank you, Bridget.
We have a comment from Jason. It says, we are a modular housing designer and fabricator based in Calgary, looking to start a discussion with potential partners. So perhaps we can discuss again, similar about eligibility and maybe some networking things we can mention as well. To Dale, send it to you first.
Exactly. See, these are good, right? This is kind of it's almost like the reverse. But what we're looking for, you're looking for partners. And you know what? And you're looking to be able to come up with something that's going to assist northern partners. There, I guarantee you, on the phone today, there are going to be some northern partners that will most likely want to speak with you. And you know what? That's what we look at. We look at how can we, and thinking outside the box, how can we link up like-minded individuals that are, and companies and organizations that are going to deploy a opportunity in the north and have a northern partner. So looking at how we can align you with northern partners and think about your concept, I think is going to be key for us. Love to talk to you to see what we can do. And if there's nothing that we can do in the north, we're more than happy to introduce you to our colleagues at Evergreen, and they can help you there. Bridget.
No, I would just say the same thing. We will have some networking events and things like that to help people partner up. But if there's anyone on the call today who wants to talk to I've forgotten your name, sorry, went by too quickly, in Calgary about the potential for a modular home, then please reach out and we'll make sure we can make those connections for you.
Excellent.
Also, perhaps we can take this moment just to expand on what we mean by northern partners, how we sort of define that.
Yes. So northern partners can include all governments, organizations, groups, and communities that are above the southern limit of the permafrost. Okay, so that could be claims organizations, it could be government organizations, treaty organizations, indigenous communities, indigenous companies, other indigenous organizations. It could be any of them.
Can also be non-Indigenous communities.
And non-Indigenous communities, yes, of course.
Anybody who's up there.
Above the north, exactly.
If I could just expand on that a little bit. So it's a bit confusing in the housing supply challenge, we appreciate, because we sort of have two definitions of what is eligible in terms of north. So for the Northern Ideas Development Program, which is specifically supposed to help those folks in the far north and remote communities, we have notionally defined the limit of permafrost as the line, but we appreciate that that is sort of a vague definition. And so we encourage you to reach out to Dale and have a chat about your remoteness and what that sort of looks like for you, because it's we're not drawing a hard line anywhere across the country in terms of how we define north. So make sure if you're sort of in that ballpark region, and there is a map on the NIDP website, that's where you would go to talk about that. If you are a more southern applicant, but you're still in a remote community, there is still an opportunity for you to apply. But in that case, you will have to really explain to us how supply chain challenges and remoteness impact your community. So all of which to say is be in touch with us and have a conversation about your northernness or your remoteness so that we can best direct you, because we don't want to leave anybody out if possible. Okay, I hope that clarified it. I know it's a little foggy, but we'll keep repeating ourselves until people get the message, I guess, in different ways.
I have a great follow-up question from Stephen. If the idea is unquestionably applicable to the North, is it essential to have the Northern collaborator? So Bridget,
Yes.
perhaps we can start with that one.
Yeah, that is a requirement of the program. You have to have a Northern partner.
I see we have a
Okay.
hand up also, Danielle.
Yeah, I
couple
see
of hands
you're
up.
able to unmute Les. Okay, perfect.
Hello.
Mr. Walker, okay. Looking
Who
to-
spoke?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Walker, go ahead.
Okay. One of my questions is I'm a builder up in the Yukon, and I have a prefab shop that we had built a couple of years ago. It was a temporary Quonset place, and one of the issues that I have is that you can't buy material directly off suppliers. And one of my concerns with that is that, like, a lot of us are building for at-risk individuals. We're building housing for lower income families, and we're paying market rate. And when you look across our country, there's a lot of First Nations that are doing that. Why are we paying market rate? And how can we become a broker? Because when I looked into it, they said, well, you cannot buy directly off these lumber yards unless you're a broker. So I'm suggesting that we kind of put our heads together and form a First Nation broker where all First Nation governments can purchase directly off suppliers. And then what they can do is they can do it one of two ways, I think, is they can, those First Nation as members of that brokerage or whatever firm, they can buy the material at cost. Then they can sell the material to their contractors if they want and make a profit. Or they can just say, we're just giving you a contract for labor only. We're supplying all lumber. And so then it reduces their cost substantially and they get direct benefits from that. So either they can make a profit on that by selling it to their contractor if they don't want to manage that process of having the material and the liability of it, or they can manage the liability of it with their community corps and make a profit on that material. And additionally, for me, it's like when I built that prefab shop, and with COVID and stuff, when it hit, we were kind of getting the warnings of like, okay, these lumber prices are going up. So I got a temporary Quonset hut, and we filled it up with plywood and lumber and everything. And I just watched that stuff double. And so I literally, I got hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff because I ended up getting part of the RHI 1. So I had a few contracts with that. And just having that storage and having those Quonset huts. And there's another thing is maybe we can get a First Nation entity that can purchase these Quonset huts and then offer them to First Nation communities across Canada. I mean, I just think it's like a general thinking team like this to say, here's some strategies to grossly reduce the cost of this. And when you buy bulk, and you can continue this kind of strategy through everything that you need to purchase, siding, your fixtures, your cabinets, your everything. And there's a balance between, we want this to be the fanciest place, or we want to be able to provide a service for people that are at risk. Now, we don't want the cheapest stuff on the shelf. Like, the old days when we all went and got glasses and they said, okay, pick from these 4 glasses and they're just the stupidest glasses you ever seen. We want to be able to get quality products, but we want to be able to do that at a bulk rate. And I'm 100% committed to being a part of a team like that. And just kind of feet on the ground kind of thing to see how that transcends. Like I said, I have built a prefab shop, and I'm interested in this funding because I want to see if I can access funding to build a permanent shop on settlement land. I'm part of Champagnejak First Nation, although I'm pretty light skinned, but I am part of Champagnejak First Nation. I used to sit on chief and council for 8 years. And my time on council sort of taught me that we need to, as individuals, get more active. We can't rely on the government, like you just said, with the capacity issues. Like I went down to the Banff Institute, and they have a team of people that they fund just to bring in money and do that. Like it's not even about doing the actual teaching of the jobs. It's just like a team of people getting funding. And I said, every First Nation needs to have this team, so that they can apply for these funds and respond to them and communicate them. And a lot of the times when they get the funding too, they don't end up finishing the paperwork. So then there's a lot of backtracking and overwhelmed. As you can tell, I like to talk a lot. I'm trying to get a lot into this, but I'm definitely glad to be a part of this meeting, and I have a lot of ideas.
Thanks, Les. I mean, that's
Yeah.
super inspiring to me. That's exactly the kind of thing I was talking about. People have ideas beyond what we heard in our initial discussions with folks. So that's a terrific idea. That's a supply chain solution. Will have a long-term beneficial impact on a whole region. So I hope people come forward and we make partnerships for you, and you guys get an application in, because I think that's exactly the kind of thing we're looking for.
Mr.
I'm not
Walker,
on
can
the
you make
evaluation
sure that
panel,
you get
just
us
so you
your
know.
contact information?
Yeah.
Reach out to us through help@nidp.ca. Get us your contact information. I'm going to get one of the reps to reach out to you as soon as possible, okay?
Okay, cool. I'll message the group right now with that. By
All
email
right,
and
thank
stuff.
you, Mr. Walker.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
Awesome.
We have another hand up from Mr. Oki.
Awesome. Great presentation and lots of energy. Thanks so much. We're doing 3D printed concrete houses as a demonstration already up north. So this NIDP, as well as the Northern Housing Supply Challenge, is in really good alignment with what we're already doing. But because of that, we don't have a partner yet. Is it NIDP that requires the partner, or is it the CMHC side that requires it, and you're helping us align that requirement?
So for the NIDP program, it would have to be a northern requirement. However, I'll let Bridget talk to it. If it's not northern, we don't kick you to the curb, right? We direct you to Evergreen, and our colleagues at Evergreen will work with you. Bridget, you want to fill in that one?
Yeah, sure. So basically, yes, you need a northern partner, but we are happy to help find one for you who is interested in that. And that is part of what we do also through our Evergreen support program. And also, I'm also a violinist, and I love your green fiddle in your picture there and on your wall. Bonus points for fiddling. But yes, let's make sure we find you a good partner, because 3D printed homes in the north that's the future. Cool.
Good. Call us. Good. Any other questions? Anybody else got their hands up? Well, those are great. Like, I mean, that was great. Those two questions. More of those.
I think Danielle's got some more.
Yeah, so this one is interesting. So the question is, are we able to train First Nation people in the North to be part of the solution? How do we identify these people? And then they go on to say that they have a leading edge construction equipment to build affordable housing, and would like to find students or workers to learn how to use the equipment.
Awesome. Okay, that's perfect. So what I would envision, you're talking with us, we brainstorm about this, we find out whereabouts it's going to be. And then what we do is we reach into the northern communities to see, number one, are they interested in something like this? Do they have an organization that would be able to direct us to people that are looking for work, or a training organization? So we would do that type of research to be able to unearth the opportunities for you in terms of human resources and partners in the north. So we want to hear about it. We brainstorm it together. We would then be after that, we'd go away and we would see what we could find for you. Come back and then further brainstorm out the idea to turn it into a solution. You know, we're doing something like that currently with one of our applicants. And what we're doing is this week, we've gone away to do some research. They've gone away to do some research. We're coming back actually tomorrow together to talk about where we're taking that. So it's exactly, like I was saying, if you got an idea, let's brainstorm it out. And those are some of the things that we do. Look for partners, look for collaborators, do the research, you know, and even help with writing. Bridget.
No, I have nothing to add. You covered it.
Good.
Perfect. I have a question from Francis, and I'm going to pose this one to Bridget. It says, are you collaborating with other federal government departments, including Transport Canada, in terms of ongoing work on Northern and Arctic corridors to ensure that knowledge is current on supply chains and entry points and not outdated models?
Yes, indeed. As part of the conversations that we've had over the past 2 years about the design of this round, we have talked to all of our federal partners. And in some cases, we explored, especially with Transport Canada, the idea of partnering up with some of their programs to overlap, but the timelines were not not working out. So we've gone our own way, but yes, we have been in contact with everybody, and I believe everybody knows what we're trying to do here.
Okay, I have another question for Bridget. What happens in the next stages of the challenge? Can you describe what happens if we are successful with our proposal?
Absolutely. Great question. So this process helps you get to the stage 1 application, which is due June, Danielle, help me.
23rd.
23rd, yeah.
23rd, thanks. June 23rd. So the Northern Ideas Development Program or your own stage 1 application will be due on the 23rd of June. Then we will have an evaluation, and the evaluation is done by all external folks to CMHC, all Northerners or Northern housing experts or supply chain experts. So we work hard to make sure we have a panel of evaluators who really understand the context and the sectors involved. Then we will announce a short list. We don't have a preset number of folks who will be shortlisted. We just try to go with as many of the best ideas that we can. Each shortlisted applicant will receive $250,000 to develop a stage 2 application, and 1 year to develop that application. The stage 1 application is quite simple, very light touch. The stage 2 application requires you to develop an implementation plan and a fully fleshed out budget, and to think about sort of what are the risks of the solution and what are the dependencies, and gives you time to build other partnerships if required. And we have ways of working with you through that stage 2 process as well. So that's what happens in stage 2. And then at the end of stage 2, you will submit that application with all of those details in it. The same evaluation panel will consider those applications, and then we have $75 million to dole out to solutions to implement them. So I encourage you, that's a lot of money. What we've seen in previous rounds of the challenge is that people think they have a better chance of getting in if they ask for less money. So we're going for the best solution and the best application and the best ideas, biggest impact. So don't shoot small. We have a lot of money to give out. If your solution is small and we can do the whole thing with the incubation funding, then terrific, let's try. But if you need $5 million to do what you want to do, then put that in your budget, because we do have the money. So that's how it works. I hope that's clear. We do have another information session coming up that will walk through all the parts of the application on the 23rd of March. So you can sign up for that session as well if you want us to take you step by step through the application.
Thank you. Another question we have here, also to Bridget. My organization is just starting to look into housing solutions, but not likely able to be ready to be involved in this round of the CMHC challenge. Should we be in touch sooner rather than later, or will there be future opportunities to connect in similar process?
Absolutely. We have future rounds coming up. We're going to do one on construction technology or construction methodologies, I should say, because technology is different in every community depending what you want or need. So that round will be coming up likely sometime in the fall or early winter, I think. And then we have other rounds that are conceived of but not yet planned, so I won't speak to those at the moment, but construction tech is next. So there is an opportunity, and it doesn't hurt to sign up on the CMHC website or the NIDP website for more information, and then we can send you out information about when the next round is going to launch and what it's about and all of those things. But I am happy to have a conversation with anybody who wants to sort of talk about future ideas.
Perfect. This one is to Dale. Will NIDP reps organize meetings and partnering opportunities?
Yes, definitely. And they look forward to it. And we always involve the managers in that too. So I myself or Justin Smith would be involved in that. But no, that's the fun part of it. When we see a good idea, we're not going to kick you to the curb. I'll tell you, we're going to find a way to find a partner that's going to work. Because I mean, if it's going to get something new into the northern communities and overcome the barriers and challenges that they've got, we're going to do it. We're going to do everything we can to make it successful. Okay. So yes, we will do that as a team.
Perfect. And then this one is, what kind of assistance can we get from the NIDP reps?
Excellent. Okay, so first of all, they're going to be your go-to person. They're going to be the one that reaches out to you. They're going to be the one that's going to hear your concept first. They're also going to ensure that as you go through the application process, that you understand the application process, the application guide. They will link you up with opportunities to partner, to collaborate. We usually have an initial brainstorming session when we get an applicant that involves myself and others, where we really look at articulating the concept. If we need to do research for you, if we need to help you with writing, if we need to do networking and opportunities for you to be able to find partners, that's what we're going to be able to do. It's all about taking your idea and building it into a way that we get a quality, complete application.
Perfect. Thank you. This one is to Dale. Any way we could be linked up with other communities that are working on local sawmills and housing?
Yes. Yes. So that's going to be one of the, one of the networking opportunities. So what we do, we hear about your opportunity. If you say we want to find partners, if you don't want, okay, so if you don't want to find partners and you've got your thing already nailed down, great. We're going to treat your ideas commercially confidential, okay? But if you're looking for partners, we're going to want to be able to kind of explain to that partner what they're looking for, and go out and shake the bushes to find somebody for you, to find opportunities. We're hearing about, like I said, we're getting emailed, we're getting 1-800 number calls and things like that all the time. And people are stating not so much they've got an idea, but they do have a solution. And if somebody comes forward looking for something, a partner, we're there. So we're already getting those emails. And at the beginning of the session, I said, they're not applicants, but they're people that are in this environment, that are in these businesses, that are letting us know about potential opportunities and solutions. So like I said, we're going to shake the bushes for you to find somebody. And if we can't, or if we're getting stuck on it, we're going to reach out to our partners, TAG, Evergreen, or others to be able to help you. But we're not going to kick you to the curb. Okay, this is not about that. It's about taking really interesting ideas and turning them into something.
Okay, I have a question from Pierre, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is more general housing supply challenge. It says, if we are a Northern company, do we need an Indigenous partner? So I'll let Bridget take that one.
Oh, no, the partnership requirement is not specific to Indigenous partners. It's specific to Northern partners. So you could be Indigenous, or you might be a non-Indigenous Northerner. That's fine. We just want to make sure that somebody who really has experience in the region and with the challenges in the region is part of your application team.
I think that one sort of backs on, can this Northern company fulfill the requirement themselves?
Yes, I expect so.
Perfect. Let me just go through here. I have a comment. Woodhouse Inc. is looking for partners as well. So perhaps we can discuss, that we have a networking event coming up. If either one of you would like to take that one.
Yes, from Woodhouse, they contacted us already. Fantastic idea, interesting concept, and yes, they're looking for partners. And I would encourage those of you on the call here today to look at what they're trying to do, and hopefully you can work together with them on creating that solution. But yeah, they've already spoken to us. Really good and really respectful people.
So what we'll do for everyone on the call today, we will make sure that we contact you with the upcoming networking opportunities that we have set up. So there'll be some through Innovation 7, there will be some through our other partner Evergreen, and we'll make sure that everyone is invited to all of those. If you're looking for a partner, please don't hesitate to reach out to Dale with who you are and what you're looking for, and we'll make sure that we coordinate CMHC, Evergreen, and NIDP to try to find partners for anybody who's looking for a partner. We'll make sure we do all of that for you.
Okay, I have a question for Dale. If I have a building project idea and it is not eligible for this challenge, can you work with my project to make a proposal?
So if it's not eligible under this program, would we work with you in terms of getting under this? I'm kind of.
Yeah,
Okay, well, yeah, well, we would look at the entirety of your project, and we've done this, looking at the pieces and parts that could be supply challenge oriented, and then looking at how we can help you develop those so that that eligibility is there. There are going to be larger projects that may not have everything. You might not be on the face of it eligible, but if we get an opportunity to speak with you and look at your project, break down the project, see it in its component parts, we will be able to, or should be able to, find those components that could be eligible. And that's really interesting because we've got an applicant that we've done that for last week. So looking forward to doing that again.
thank you. I'm going to invite Erwin if he would like to request to be unmuted for this one. He's explaining that he's from Chapleau. Can I find a First Nation partner in that area? Would they qualify? I'm assuming that's Northern Ontario around Timmins. Erwin, I'm not sure if you're around, if you would like to correct me, but I'll leave that to you, Dale. Also, is that for NIDP or is it for the Housing Supply Challenge? There's two different definitions. So any thoughts, Dale, initially?
Well, first, it would be like, I mean, you're below the permafrost line. You're within 350 kilometers of a service center. So in that situation, unless you had a northern partner, the solution was for a northern group, then we would most likely be transferring you over to our partners at Evergreen to help you with your application.
And in that case, then you would just have to define remoteness and how that supply chain impacts you and the remoteness of your community. And then Evergreen would be able to help you to submit an application through.
Okay. We got a question about, will there be a template to follow along for the application? So Bridget or Dale, if you want to discuss the applicant guide.
Yeah, I believe Amanda has already put the
Okay.
link to where you can find the applicant guide. It's in the chat. The guide is posted. It has all of the component parts that we're looking for, including their weightings and what it is we're looking for. It has some appendices in it that give you tips and tricks and a little bit of sort of idea starters in terms of how to do parts of it. And then, as I mentioned, also, we're going to be walking through the guide stage by stage on March 23rd. In another information session. Oh, thanks, Amanda. She just posted it again for you there.
Sorry. I was just saying, our NIDP reps, they know it like the back of their hands. So, I mean, they can walk you through that. They can walk you through the application. They can, they can demystify any of the explanations too in the application guide. And if there's something that we don't have, then we're going to sit down with you, brainstorm it to make sure that you do understand. Next. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? I think we've got everything I have on my list so far.
All right. All great questions. Thank you. Oh, Mr. Walker has a follow-up.
Applause, I think, for you, Dale.
Oh, applause. I thought you had a follow-up. Okay, good.
No, I do have a question. Is that one of the issues that I found when I was on council was that we would apply for these funding, different sources of funding, and I would find out that several other First Nations are applying for the same funding, basically the same application, and we're all struggling to pay for the same thing. It's like, man, can we not share our information? You know, if you need a single family house, it's a 2-bedroom. Is it just like everything's filled out? You can just fix the little details here, and there you go. It's done quicker. Additionally, what I find too as a builder, where, First Nations are all communities. We don't have to, I focus on First Nation because I'm a First Nation member, but we pay for these feasibility studies and these the blueprints and the architect, right? Like, it's like I watched this architect design something for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's like you go to another First Nation, it's like they got something almost identical, right? It's like, man, that's like you go to two or four first. There's $1 million. Could we not have some sort of place where people can say, hey, look, here's some designs, and an idea is that in order to value, maybe the First Nation put some money towards that design. Maybe every time somebody uses the design, it's a fraction of a price. To say, oh, you're looking for a 3-bedroom? We've got 20 designs on this website. You pick one, it's $500, and it's not $5,000. It's 10%. And then that First Nation maybe can get a piece of that, or maybe it's a fund where other First Nations who are struggling with designs can access that fund. You're basically creating something. It's like you see the same dollars being spent. And like up here, we have the Umbrella Final Agreement. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, where there's the CYFN, and there's several First Nations that sit on one. I'm a chatty guy, and I will sit down and talk to everybody. I will call people from other First Nations and say, hey, what are you doing? And a lot of the times they're designing the same buildings. And additionally, too, when it comes to designing buildings, as a builder, I'll watch First Nations design or put out a tender, and the architect is just designing for look. And it's like, I want these things to look good, but this thing costs 30% more. And not only that, it doesn't function as right. And I don't know how familiar you are with it. It's like how you lay out your kitchen and how you lay out your bedroom and your hallways minimizes the space. As an example, we just built 4 houses for Champagnat last year. We just moved some walls and got them, I think it was like 600, oh no, not 600. It might've been 300 more square feet of livable space just by moving things, taking out hallways and stuff. And just like, well, if you just move this, and it's like, and it's hard to, and I understand, like when you're working in the office and you're trying to get a contractor, you know, like it's hard to do everything that you need to do, manage your staff and look at a plan and then actually think, how is that person going to live in this space? And is that going to function properly? I'm building a house right now, or sorry, we're building 20 units for a First Nation here. And I have probably about $500,000 worth of savings that we suggested on this 20 unit place. And not only that, getting them to come down and say, walk in this place. You have no place for a kitchen table. You have no place for guests. There's no place for this. It's a beautiful house. But so I guess what I'm saying is that a resource that people can go to access these plans really quick, to be able to look at a funding and say, hey, you know, oh, you're applying for some 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom place. We've already got an application that's 90% filled out. You just have to fill out your details. And here's some plans that you can pick from. Boom, boom, boom. That's a rapid thing. It jumps everything forward, and it helps that process. And it's basically, you're giving them, the capacity is already there. And we've all done this enough so that there's so much resources. We're just not communicating and sharing those resources. And I know how it is when you spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on a plan. You kind of, oh, well, that's my plan. I don't want to just be giving it away for free. How does that look to my citizens? Whereas this is something where potentially we can design something that they do have to pay for it. And then that money can go and return to whichever First Nation up to a certain point or something. I don't know. I'm just spitballing that.
No, it's all good. You know, that was one of the things that we heard when we were crossing the country talking to people about what should the housing supply challenge be. That was one of the things that I heard that just dumbfounded me the most, is that people don't have anywhere to go to talk to each other about ideas that work and to share things like that. And we heard that not only in First Nation communities, but we heard it across the major municipalities of the country too. They're like, well, we do this, but we don't have any way of telling those guys in Edmonton that we do this, you know, in Calgary to Edmonton. It was just, it's kind of mind boggling actually. And you're right, the inefficiency and the waste of time and the increased cost and all of these things can be improved. So we did run a stage 2 of our challenge, which was called Getting Started. And it was about pre-development processes. And some of the applications that we got in for that were sort of a booklet of pre-approved housing designs. But that is a solution that we would also entertain for this round. But also as part of the challenge, we're trying to build a sort of an ecosystem of people who work in housing who can talk to each other to share, exactly as you're saying, Les, ideas and designs and solutions that are already ready to go to save everybody time and money. So yeah, so thanks for your comments.
When you're talking about northern climates, it's one of the things is this super green that everybody's going for. But it's like when you go to a lot of the meetings, like even Yukon Housing, and it's like, well, how much does that cost? And they don't have any solid answers for you. So, you know, my team sat down and we just did an 8-foot by 16-foot wall, and we priced out every single version of that wall. You know, well, maybe not everyone, because you can always invent a new one, but basically the generic versions of the wall to say, this is the efficacy, this is the cost, this is the performance, so that when you're going to people that are providing housing for at-risk and remote communities, you know, obviously the environment is key, but getting families in homes is key. And it's hard to say, well, we only built 2 homes, but those homes are super green. They're net zero. It's like, well, could you have built 4 or 5 homes and still did an energy efficient thing, and now 4 or 5 families are in those homes? It's the moral juggling that we have to do to say, and then but by having the data and saying this, we can do this, and we can still do this efficiently, and we can be super green. And be able to share that data is I think is super important, because it helps the officials, the ones actually making the decision, most of the time they're not professionals at building. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not living in those spaces. So it makes it easier for them. As a council member, as a former council member, I'd always say that is like, when somebody came to me and they had 3 options and they had descriptions of the pros and cons of those, I could make that choice. But when they just came to me and then I had to struggle through it, it was hard for us to make choices. It was just like, well, come back to us in another month. Oh, there's a death in the community. Now we'll cancel that meeting. See you next month. So it ends up, we have to really learn how our communities are working and develop these things in order to help the people that are making decisions make quick decisions. So all the information is there. This is what we're recommending, and this is why we're recommending it. And but also having people from industry openly saying that this is why they're recommending that. And you know, I just think I'm glad to hear that you guys do have some information on that, and I will be looking. This is the first time I'm joining this, so I do appreciate being invited.
This is all really great stuff. Les, I wish we could just talk forever. We have 2 speakers. The first is Randy. If we can unmute Randy Oliwa, and then we will get to Laurel Gardner.
Oh, hi, everyone. I'll be quick. So we are a small cooperative here in Eucula, BC. A group of 5 individuals got together, formed a cooperative focused around solving our crisis about hiring employees and employee retention and how it was stifling our economy. 2 years later, we are a fully formed not-for-profit cooperative. We have a business plan. We have letters of endorsement from MLAs, MPs, First Nations, our local leaders here in the community. What we're 90 days into an FCM planning grant, and we're broke. We're about to fold. So what we really need is, on our end, this is sort of our, our white flag, or we're on the end of it, is an organization or somebody that can look at our proposal and our business plan and see that this has some merit, and get us into the right queues, because we've been doing this for 2 years and we just haven't gotten anybody to come forward and say, hey, well, we've got a lot of support, but again, we're funding this out of our own pockets. We're 5, we've been doing this for 2 years. We're actually losing 2 of our board members out of our community because of the housing prices that have been escalated in the last 2 years. So again, probably a very similar statement in a lot of communities. We are a resort municipality, so we have a lot of funding. We have over 50% in our area, very active, very engaged First Nations. One of them, our Eucula First Nations, has given us a letter of support. We've met with them several times. There just doesn't seem, it seems like a colander. All of our work goes into this colander and it just funnels out the bottom. So what my question is, if we is this organization one that we could submit our proposal to and have somebody do a quick cursory look to it and go, this could be in every community across Canada. It also has the potential of funding chambers of commerces, which are constantly struggling year after year. And it has the potential to pay back capital grants, those forgivable capital grants, and not rely on a subsidy. So yeah, that was my question.
Oh, thanks. I'm sorry to hear that. That's a tough position to be in for sure. I'll let Dale answer about whether this is something for Innovation 7. But if not, it sounds like maybe what you need is connections in other areas beyond the housing supply challenge. In which case, if you just drop me an email directly, maybe we can see who we can put you in touch with to try to find the right people for you to talk to. But if this is something that we can achieve through the housing supply challenge, hopefully, then I think Dale might be the one who can help take a preliminary look at that and see what can be done there.
Yeah, this is, thanks, thank you, Dale.
Yeah, send it in. Like I said, other applicants, we've looked at their overall project and broken down some of the parts to see what is eligible and what is not eligible. Just give us that chance to be able to do that, and we'll help you the best we can. And I do agree, it's not a good position to be in. I'm sorry you're going through that.
Yeah, no, no worries. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Laurel?
First of all, I want to say, Randy, I hear you. Our organization is in something of the same situation. Okay, what I wanted to just say was that about 80% of First Nations in Canada are in the forest, in the boreal or BC forests, and very, very few of them are using their own wood that's around them as a part of the housing solution, which is to me just a huge travesty. Like that's one of the about the only natural resource that many of them have to develop, and it's going undeveloped. We also know that if certain types of housing engineered plans for housing, such as timber frame, log, post and beam, there's all kinds of different housing styles that can help you to get away from the need for grade stamped lumber as well, as long as the plans are engineered. There's usually no question as to the wood quality that comes out of the forest around the communities. So anyways, and also things like the engineered floors, the I-joist floors that cost about 3 times as much as a 2x10, a good 2x10 floor that could have been made from your own wood. Way more expensive and dangerous. Fire departments can't even go into houses that are on fire that have these I floors in them because they melt. And so anyways, I just think that there's so much more that could be done toward helping communities use their own resources to reduce the need for all the shipping of lumber, huge footprint, bringing wood from BC through a forest to northern Manitoba to put into houses. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, we're looking forward to working with communities to try to set up local mills. That's the work of our organization. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox, but local wood could be amazing for northern communities and housing.
Yeah, thank you very much, Laurel, for that. We had an opportunity, Dale and Danielle and I, we were given the great good fortune of going to Yellowknife to speak with several of the chiefs of the Dene Nation there, and they were speaking about the value of log homes and how their grandfathers and their grandfathers' grandfathers were living in homes that had been built generations before and were still standing and perfectly viable. And it does seem absolutely ridiculous that we are not pursuing those things because we have strange Southern notions of what building code should be, for example. So I know there are people in CMHC who are talking about the necessity of changing some of those requirements for communities where it is more logical and more affordable and actually safer to use your own materials. So that is some work that's slowly going on behind the scenes. But in the meantime, I encourage anyone who wants to work on sawmill and logging and lumber solutions to come forward with applications to the challenge, and Dale can help put you folks in touch with each other and help your applications as well.
And I really hear the point about the net zero house. We have so much trouble with mold in the houses in the north. And to me, a I hate to say it, but a leaky house might be a healthier house.
True. And a drafty one also.
Yes, a
Yeah.
drafty house. Like, honestly,
It's true.
It's like they never had mold in the houses, and I'm a nurse by background, and the kids, you know, the respiratory conditions of the children is just crazy. You know, it's just endemic. And anyway, I won't get on that soapbox, but I look forward to linking up with some of the other people that are putting local sawmills forward as a solution in this supply chain challenge.
You're going to give us a call, right, Laurel? You're going to reach out to us, right?
Yes, to this
Okay, good.
1-800 number, yes.
The 1-800 number or help@nidp.ca. I know that there's a couple of our NIDP reps that would love to talk to you about that, and that would be fantastic. But please reach out.
I will. Thank you.
Okay, Dale, any final comments before we wrap? Or Bridget?
Well, no, actually, this is actually fantastic, wasn't it? All the great ideas. I do have to recognize our partners here, Tag Creative Strategies, the First Nations Housing Community, CMHC, and my colleagues at Innovation 7. Want to make sure you know, Wednesday, March 23rd, we're going to be having the next session on everything you want to know about the application process, and so I encourage you to come to that. And there'll be a link in the chat. And then again, if you need help, make sure you reach out to us. We're looking forward to it. I have a feeling that the inbox is starting to fill up, and the 1-800 number is receiving calls. So looking forward to speaking with you and working with you. And thank you for those great questions. And, you know, it really makes it much more interesting, and it also gives us some interesting perspectives. Me, for one, I'm thinking about how I've got to look at the website and maybe put a place on where people are looking for partners, or on our Facebook page, those groups that are looking for partners. I think we need to make that space there. And I'm looking at how we can expand that after this call. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to let Bridget have the last word, but I really appreciate the questions, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to hearing more about this. Bridget, go ahead.
Oh, thanks so much, Dale. I likewise would like to thank everyone for your time today. And just to say, I've heard that there's a lot of desire for collaboration and putting people together, and so on and so forth. And so we want to make sure that we work with all of you to do that. So don't anybody rule yourselves out on the basis of this conversation. Reach out so that we can put people in touch. We cannot actually just share your information from this session with folks who are on the session because of privacy laws. So in order to be connected with people, you do have to reach out to Dale or put your own information in the chat and share it yourself. We just can't go breaking any rules of the game. So so I look forward to speaking with you, and Dale will speak with you, and everybody on this challenge. Thank you all for your time and for your terrific ideas. I hope we can fund all of them. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.